All right, guys, we're back here at the old lean-to shed for the cows. Gonna do a little bit of repairs on it. And what we're gonna do, old little Joe just tore it to bits anyways, and he tore that one out and the wind blew it off. So we're just gonna replace this panel with one of these OSB sheets here, because that's what we got. That's all we got. And we're gonna repair this. And hopefully, if you guys remember right, I've been talking about totally replacing this thing this upcoming summer and building a legitimate little cow shed, calving shed here. Because this one here, if I'll back off a little bit, you can see it's just been pieced together, kind of put on this old jack fence that was here, and it's served a purpose. It's been okay, but it's not the best, you know. But hoping to rebuild this summer completely, tear it out and start fresh. But for now, we're just going to put a board up there and get it covered, maybe a board on the side here, and getting ready for those calves to come, give them a nice dry area to go sit under and out of the wind as well. So we'll see what happens. We got that board put up there, no big deal. And of course, with all the seams and stuff and the weather checking, it's not completely waterproof, but it's better than nothing. And the main point is making sure this is a nice wind break from all angles. So we're going to come over here with this board and set it on the side there, screw it in there, and then we're going to move on to the cow trough. So let's get after it. But that's just a patchwork. It'll work for a couple months. We'll rebuild it. Some of you have been with us for a long time might remember we used to have like a little calf shelter right here that our little Joe, our Wagyu bull, decided to destroy, as well as the wall that was right here. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to put a piece of OSB here across here, create another windbreak, because around here, guys, we have most of our wind coming from this direction here and this way, and sometimes this way. So that's our main areas. Hardly ever do we have wind coming into it, and that's why we built it here. But this makes a nice little spot. When they calve, they come over here and we spread some straw out in here, and then they tuck their calves back in here for a few days before we turn them back out with the other cows. So not perfect, but it works. And we're gonna go ahead and try to put this board right here and see how it does. Okay, well, we got our little wind block put in on this side. We just took an old piece of scrap off the sawmill and put there, and ran a rail on top here, because you know that these cows would have just come up here and just rubbed the tar out of this thing. So we basically gave them a rub rail. You know, they'll be over here rubbing their necks later on for sure, I bet. But anyways, that's how that goes. It'll get the job done. Now we're gonna move on to the feeder and check it out. We didn't know more than drive out of there, guys. And she was over there rubbing it on it already. It looks like she quit now. I missed it. All right, guys, let me tell you what I decided to do. We're gonna go ahead and expand the trough over here, maybe 1 or 2 slots past that post. And the same thing on this side over here. We're gonna go ahead, expand it over this way to this post, and I may add in 1 or 2 here, keep it close to that post for support. I was gonna do it over there. I talked about over there, and I think that would have been a really good idea. But then I thought, you know what? We're less than a month away from the heifers coming back over here, and the bull going out. We're gonna need extra slots anyhow, no matter where we're at. So I thought, well, let's just go ahead and put extra slots in now. That way they'll have an area to go to, and we won't have to throw it on the ground. So that's what we decided to do, and we're gonna let this dry out a little bit. I may go in there and work it over a little bit, maybe fill in with some material, but just not feed in there for a couple weeks so that it can dry out. Gene had a really good idea for the lime, and I haven't found any yet, but I think we're probably still going to get some maybe next time I go out of town to try to dry that out and harden it up where we don't have to deal with this again. So lots of good ideas. We also had suggestion of putting some wood down in there underneath that mud, filling back in, and I thought about that at one point too. That's also a good idea, but we're just going to see what we can do right now to expand the situation. Let this dry. We can come in and repair this a little bit later, so let's do it. Okay, so we went ahead and planted a post right here, and luckily enough we were able to get it in the ground a little ways. So I guess the frost is leaving the ground, but so we're gonna go and put one on the other side. We'll kind of box this in, and we'll lower these rails here, making that gap, put our cross pieces in, or our, you know, our stays, and then we'll be in business. Oh boy. Well, here we go, guys. This is as far as we're gonna get today. We do have some other trough slots set up, some feeder areas. This is what we did. As you can see, we didn't put the 2 rails on top of here. We will do that later because those calves like to get in there after they're born, and we got to make sure we get that done. But for today, we're good to go. So we got some extra slots over here, about 9 or 10 slots over here, ready to rock. And then, of course, we'll skip over the sloppy area. We did another one down here, and so here's the other one. Comes out. Our bottom 2 rails are just a pinch lower than those over there. I'm hoping that'll let them low lines and the minis eat a little bit better, and I'm sure they'll enjoy that. A little bit less pressure on their neck. Anyways, so there, like this side right here, this is going to be nice for them smaller cows. It's a lot lower. They can reach in here easier. The big ones can too, but with that second rail there, the bigger ones would probably be more comfortable right over here somewhere. But anyways, that's what we got going on. It's all set up, ready to go. I'll go inside and show you that from that angle real quick. But we're only a couple hours away from feeding, so I'm getting pretty excited to see how they enjoy it. You can see they're over here inspecting it already. Who's that? Holly. Holly's over here inspecting it. We had Brooke and April and everybody else over here checking it out. So they're pretty excited too, I think. So if you look right there, she's standing on the edge of that hole, and even in that spot where there is a little bit of a dip there, she's a lot more straight. So they're going to have a lot easier time on their backs and their pelvis, like I said, when they were getting in that raised up position. And I think the calves were squatting on their bladder, and it was uncomfortable for them. Brooke was over here traveling the fence line, and they can do that. They can travel along there. This will dry out. You can see we brought a little bit of material here. I'll dump some more in there. I'll kind of level it out, and then just let it dry out. Hopefully get some of that lime, and if I need to, I will. You know, I don't know if I'm going to put any timbers in there, because my main plan is to put concrete in, guys. A slab right here to just do away with this problem altogether. But I don't know if I'm going to do that this year or next. But with these extra slots, you know, we have a lot more leeway. We can move them up and down. Once this dries out, we can kind of move them up and down. They won't dig such a deep hole. And to be fair, it's really been 3 years that this hole has kind of been in the works. They've been 3 winters, I should say. They've stayed in here with that trough or that feeder. And I think that has a lot to do with it. It's been 3 years of them just, you know, eating. And so it needs a break. So if we have some areas to move them up and down, we can probably stretch that out a lot longer and maybe not have to do anything crazy. But that's what she looks like, guys. I guess we're back in business. We got like 9 or 10 slots on each side. When they're pregnant like that, that's not enough. But so, you know, maybe 4 or 5 will come over here, 4 or 5 will go over there. And we'll feed them on left and right. Let this dry out. When it dries out, we'll just go up and down the line. But what do you guys think? I guess it's gonna work. It's been a little bit cooler of a day today. I don't even think it's got to 30, which has kind of kept that from thawing out so much. It's been helpful out here working, and I think it's gonna be helpful in the long run. A little bit slower melt, but anyways, thanks for coming along, guys. Our rebuild is coming along, and even though last night I was pretty convinced I was going to put my other feeder over there on the other side, when I remembered I got to put them heifers back over because they haven't sold yet, I thought, you know what, we need more space in the same line. So as you can tell, my voice is getting a little bit weak again. I haven't quite got rid of that cough, but I guess slowly but surely, hopefully by the time it warms up, it'll be gone. But anyways, thanks for coming along, guys. We'll see. Hopefully I'll just do a little shot right here of how they look when they're feeding. But thanks for coming along. We'll catch you back out here on another day. Have a good one.